Hi everybody, my name is Lou Starita. I'm the owner of Paul Mitchell School, Boise, Nampa, Richland, and pretty soon Provo, Utah. And today I'm here with Shelby Bills of Graeber and Company. She's the business manager and has been with them for 16 years and 8 months, roughly, right?
Yes.
And has done a remarkable job. I met Shelby about 8 or 10 years ago, and she was on a top list for me to interview because of her business acumen and the things that she's done. And also she has really worked hard to develop her leadership skills. She's taken classes. She works really well with our future professionals, so I'm really excited to be here.
So I started actually in guest services, so at the front desk, when I was 19 years old and going to Boise State University, and I fell in love with the beauty industry. So that's kind of what spurred my interest, and then I went on to work with Aveda salons and how they work and what's happening out there in the industry and really for the state of Idaho. And then I came back to Graeber and Company, and the rest is history.
And since that time when you've come back, what are some of the roles that you've played?
So I started out in guest services. I was also the retail manager here. I was a sales rep for Pacifico's Aveda. Came back as a general manager here at Graeber and Company, and then I also created the director role here that we didn't have before. So.
And you're a co-owner.
I am a co-owner, yes.
So how long is that?
I'm like, wait, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, that's an important part.
That's an important part. So about 10 years ago, I became one of the owners here at Graeber and Company, the managing partner. I was 25 years old, and so I learned how to run the business and the business end. We're 4 owners at the time, 3 stylists, so 3 of my business partners were behind the chair, and then I was running the business from the front to the back as well.
Wonderful. And you mentioned you were 25 years old. That's
Yes.
really impressive. Well, tell us, what were some of the challenges you had? What are some of the obstacles you had? I mean, that's pretty incredible. You must have a lot of fortitude and persistence. What were some of the things that you had to overcome, and how did you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for me at that point, Graeber and Company has been around for almost 54 years this year. So at that point, it was a 45-year-old business or so. Most of the stylists were all twice my age. They were very established. It was a challenge for them to have a 25-year-old come in and say, hey, this is what we're going to do now. And my whole vision for this company is continuously to grow it and to evolve and to find out what's happening in the industries, not just in trends, but sustainability and longevity. And so we made some changes, and that was really challenging for a lot of people that were more mature than I was at that time. But most of them got on board, and we really took the company to the next level at that time. So I would say that's been a really big thing for me, is what was my long-term goal and what were the action steps that I needed to take to get there, no matter what, because it was not easy at all. So we were a lease salon, and growing a team in a lease environment wasn't necessarily the concept that a lot of the stylists had that they wanted to continue to grow with. So that was a challenge, that overcoming that hurdle of how do we get individual independent contractors to grow together as a team. And so we started having team meetings. We started implementing different service goals, retail goals, really focusing on the business behind the chair and not just what's happening in a salon. And so really becoming a business and a team together.
I read somewhere successful people, and they were trying to identify some common traits, and they said one of the top things was, and they called it grit, which was just staying in there and not giving up. And it sounds like that's what you had and have to keep doing this.
Absolutely.
Now, I have to ask you something, because you were 25 when a lot of this happened, and I want to make sure that everyone understands it's maybe not about age, it's about the work you put in to get to that point. Zig Ziglar once said, the taller the building, the deeper the foundation, meaning that we have to have ourselves together and anchored to think big or to act big and to achieve our goals. What were some of the things that you did to build that foundation that allows you at 25 to do what you did?
Absolutely. The first thing for me was at Graeber and Company, learning every role. Besides the technical role, I am not licensed. So learning every role in the business, no matter if it was for a pay increase or if it was for an award or recognition. Like, that didn't matter. It was, how do I figure out how to run this company in every possible aspect? So I think that was really, really big. Going and working for Pacifico Zaveda at that time, I was the sales rep for the state of Idaho. So going into all of these other salon and spas in Idaho, really being a sponge, absorbing the information, helping them grow. How could I help their businesses? And then after that, bringing those tools that I had learned back into Graeber and Company. What did I see out in the industry that I really loved? What did I see that there was areas for improvement? How could I apply those in my business was really important. Reading books, going to college. I went to Boise State. My background at that time was in marketing management. And then I finished my degree later on, about 8 years later, and focused really on sociology and communication and humanity, and why us as humans do what we do, and why we make the choices that we make too. So
your foundation was hard work. It sounded like you were open to do everything. Mm-hmm. You weren't above any particular,
no.
Right? If you had to clean the bathroom,
we are the janitor,
right?
All the way up.
Okay,
yes,
so
absolutely.
I think that's really cool, because sometimes we can feel entitled and we're above something, but that's actually just the opposite, isn't it?
Yeah. To receive, we must give, and that if we are not able to be servants to the people around us, how can we ever lead? There's no way.
That's awesome. I love that. Tell us a little bit more about Graeber and Company. What's the philosophy? What you're recognized as one of the top spas in Idaho?
To me and everyone who is a part of this is truly a team and a family, that we, to our core, are here for each other. And I think that's where it starts, is that as long as I take care of my people take care of our guests and our community. Our 3 core values are our community, passion, and integrity. So always doing what we say we're going to do, even when we don't want to, even when it may hurt, even when we have to take the extra classes or become better or reach out or volunteer or whatever that looks like for us, is truly being of service. 5-star service is very, very vital to our company. It's how do we elevate the guest experience? Willing to do the hard work, willing to take the extra classes, willing to apply themselves without attitude, without negativity, without a poor me or victim mentality, because that's really what it comes down to, is you have to be willing to do the hard work. That's first and foremost. Team. Do you want to be a part of a team? There are people that completely want to be independent and they don't want to be a part of a team, and those aren't our people. Because at the end of the day, we step in and help our team no matter what, to make sure that everybody is successful here at Graeber and Company. Taking tours, letting us know. We have a lot of your students that tag us on Instagram. They tag their work, so we're already looking at their work. We're looking to see who are they, what are they about, what are they interested in, letting us know, right away, that you want to be a part of Graeber and Company, and then we'll set you up for auditions. Your Phase 2 students, hands down, phenomenal. So you have to show up to school, be there, your attendance record, that you're in the top 10% of your class, that you're already wanting to do fashion shows and do models and do volunteerism, building your business. What kind of business are you building in school that's going to set you up for success in the salon? So those are things we love to look for. There is no reason that this could not be a lucrative career for people if you apply yourself.
I love this. I love that, because I want the world to know that if they live their life right, if they work hard and do the right things, and they work for the right places, they can earn a great income.
Absolutely. Well, and I want to add to that, like it doesn't matter your compensation method. It doesn't matter whether you go to a leased salon or a commissioned salon or an hourly salon, or that you do things on your own and maybe you're freelance and you travel. It's how do you apply yourself to reach the destination? What are you doing every day that's taking action, and that it's not how is a salon going to get me here? How is this company going to get me there? How am I going to get myself there? I mean, most of my 6-figure hairdressers, they started out working 6 and 7 days a week. They take late guests. They come in early. They work Saturdays. They don't ever say no. They apply themselves technically. They take advanced education. I mean, there were days where people didn't have weekends off. They didn't spend time with their families early on in their career, but they built a foundation to where now they work 4-day work weeks. They have that work-life balance. They have created that because they applied themselves in the first 2 to 3 years of their career that took them to the next level. No matter where you work, find out what kind of education program do they have. Do they have mentors? Do they have someone who is going to help you in your career and grow? We have an assisting program. So when you're in our academy, you're taking technical advanced education. You're also assisting senior and master stylists. You are learning behaviors behind the chair. Those things are really, really important to look for. What does advanced education look like? Do they help support you in that? Do they host advanced education? Are they helping you grow personally in your life? Like, what are we dealing with ourselves every day and how we show up so that we can be the best behind the chair? That is, like, we call it 5x5 the stage. You are on stage behind the chair every day, all day. Well, how do actors prepare to be on stage? There's a whole lot of practice that goes into being on stage. So what are we practicing every single day to make sure that when we step onto our stage, that we can be the best that we can be?
I love that, because I get nervous when a future professional will graduate and they want to lease right off the get-go, because there's so much more to learn, and then to do that on your own, and on top of that, take on starting your own business, which
Absolutely.
is that on your
Absolutely.
own without any mentorship, guidance. You're still refining your technical craft,
Yeah.
and now you have to worry about bringing guests in the door on top of that,
Right.
and pay the rent and inventory and all those things,
Yeah.
of taxes. It gets me nervous. Not to say that eventually can't be a goal,
Yeah.
but to start
Absolutely.
off, let's choose our battles carefully.
Right. And in my 17 years of experience and across the industry, and we've had every compensation model in this company, so I have worked with renters, I've worked with employees, I've worked with commission, I've worked with hourly, I've worked with salary. That part is really so important, because if we jump and we say, okay, I don't have a team to support me, I don't have someone to answer my phones, I don't have an accountant to show me how to handle my taxes as a self-employed person, I don't have accountability, so I may only show up for those guests that are on my book, but I'm not out there finding new guests. I don't have a marketing background, so how am I going to go market to those clients? I mean, those are all things that you have to think about when you're leaving school. So as far as the Graeber Academy, it's something that we do internally in our salon. So I don't think it's necessarily something that we would have multiple academies happening at once. However, we now are looking at advanced academies where we're going to open it up to the network. Not just Aveda salons, not just Graeber and Company employees. We're going to start opening up to our community and our industry professionals to come in and for a small fee, they get to take some advanced education in our program, because we truly believe that giving back to our industry and the next generation of professionals is where it's at, no matter if they're with Graeber and Company or they are just out there, because our industry, it's time to elevate our industry. It's time to grow as a community and really take this beauty profession to the next level and be professionals and learn, how do we do this business and do it better.
When we started, I mentioned that when I had met Shelby 8-10 years ago, how impressed I was with you and just your depth of knowledge, and now we can see why I was so impressed, Shelby. So thank you so much. I really appreciate
so much.
all that you've shared with us, and we hope to come back and visit with you again.